In today's video, 7 strategies to move from being reactive to proactive in your coaching role. Hello, coaches! Welcome back to another episode of Coach Better Quick Tips. My name is Kim Cafino, and I'm here to help you coach better. After decades as a teacher and an instructional coach in international schools, I founded my company, Eduro Learning, to help you embrace your inner leader and make a bigger impact in your school setting as a teacher, a coach, or a leader. I work with clients around the world in our certificate programs and private mentoring packages, and this episode is inspired by one of those powerful conversations. If you have a question you'd like to hear us answer, please leave a comment below or join our Coach Better Facebook group or find us on social media at Eduro Learning and send me a DM. You can find all of our resources for instructional coaches and listen to our full podcast episodes on our website at coachbetter.tv. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel to catch all of our latest episodes here on YouTube. Today, I'm going to talk about 7 strategies to move from being reactive to being proactive in your coaching role. As I mentioned, this was inspired by one of the conversations that I had in the Coach Certificate and Mentorship program with one of my premium clients that I work with on a one-to-one basis. Sometimes as coaches, we can get stuck in the mindset that because coaching is based on individual teacher goals, they need to come to you to seek support. That would be amazing, but it doesn't always work this way for lots of reasons, including everything from how busy teachers are to what they really understand about our role and how they think we can help them. So this means sometimes we need to shift our mindset from expecting teachers to come to us to actively reaching out to them. That's what I mean by moving from being reactive to being proactive. And because we know that everyone has a different preferred style of learning, if we can be proactive in lots of different ways, we'll be even more successful in finding new teachers to work with as coachees. Shifting our perspective from being reactive to being proactive not only helps our potential coachees recognize how we can support them, but it helps us clarify our own purpose as coaches so we can really articulate the ways that we support teachers. Teachers and coaches are both busy people. So when teachers know exactly what they're going to get in a coaching cycle and exactly how it's going to support student learning or their own professional growth, they will be so much more likely to opt in to a coaching cycle with you. And when, as coaches, you have coachees who fully understand the coaching process, they're going to be engaged at a deeper level, working with you as a coach rather than just short-term problem solving or consulting. These are the relationships you're trying to build. And you can do that by being proactive in your coaching role. I mentioned that this topic was inspired by a conversation I had with one of my clients inside the Coach Certificate and Mentorship program. And I shared that because bringing clarity to your role as a coach is the first step in building a thriving coaching culture. And that's why we focus on finding clarity in phase 1 of the Coach Certificate and Mentorship program. So if you're feeling a little bit hazy about the role of a coach or how to work with your school leader as a coach or how to communicate and be proactive in your role as a coach, you will find clarity inside the Coach Certificate Mentorship Program in phase 1. We only open registration for our annual global cohorts once a year, and registration is open right now. Registration closes this week. So head over to edurolearning.com/coach to get all the details on this year's global cohort. And if you want a preview to see what you'll learn inside the coach before you jump in, we are offering a sample week of the coach. The sample week is one of the hot topics that comes up in our conversations inside the coach. It's called the Coach Principal Partnership, and you'll learn how to bring clarity to your work with your school leader. You can grab that sample week at edurolearning.com/coach preview, and I'll pop the link in the description box below too. All right, let's jump into these 7 strategies. All of these are part of the Coach Certificate program in phase 1, Finding Clarity, primarily in the section about communicating your role. Number 1 is to start communicating your services. Teachers need to know what services you offer as a coach. They won't be able to ask for support if they don't know what to ask for. Lots of coaches use a coaching menu to help teachers get an idea of what they can do to support teachers. Creating a simple graphic with examples of ways that you work with teachers is an easy way for teachers to recognize their own needs and realize that you can support them. You can share this anytime you get a chance, in team meetings, in curriculum planning meetings, and in one-to-one conversations. If you want to make a coaching menu with support, you can do that inside phase 1 of the Coach Certificate and Mentorship Program. My second strategy is to get the pulse of what teachers need. And this could actually be before the coaching menu. They kind of go hand in hand. To build an effective coaching menu, it's really important that you know what teachers need, and even more importantly, what they think they need and how they would describe it. You want to make sure you're making a coaching menu that includes options that teachers will recognize as an area of interest or need for them. That means you want to be using teacher language, even if you have terms that are technically more precise as a coach. You may want to do a needs assessment before creating a coaching menu, so you're really confident in how teachers might need your support, and then create your menu to match those needs. You would do this in phase 1 of the coach in communicating your role. Strategy number 3 is to share coaching success. Once you start having coaching cycles, no matter how short or how small, build in a process for sharing teacher success. Could you ask teachers to share in a team meeting or in divisional faculty meetings? Or could you create a newsletter or a blog that highlights the great work that teachers are doing? Any format that feels right for your school community to share and celebrate coaching success will help potential coachees see what working with you is like and give them specific teachers to ask about their experiences with you. You'll learn how to share your coaching success and build a coaching culture in phase 3 of the Coach Certificate and Mentorship Program, Grow Community. Strategy number 4 is to connect teachers to each other. As you're starting to work with more and more teachers, you'll find that you have a good idea of what's going on in different classrooms around the school. You'll know which teachers are in a similar place in their practice, and you can start connecting teachers to each other. Sometimes those connections are surprising. Maybe a lower elementary teacher might benefit from connecting with an upper elementary teacher, or a math teacher might benefit from connecting with an English teacher. As a coach, you're in a unique position to see across grade levels and subject areas to make those connections. There are very few other people on staff in a non-evaluatory position that have this lens. Take advantage of it. You'll learn how to take advantage of this unique lens to build coaching capacity in your school in phase 3 of the Coach Grow Community. Strategy number 5 is to share just-in-time resources. Now that you know so many teachers and what's going on in so many classrooms, you can start to be very proactive and intentional about sharing just-in-time, just-right resources for teachers. This is an especially effective strategy when trying to reach teachers that aren't quite ready for a full coaching cycle yet. Demonstrating that you understand where they and their students are at and exactly what resources will support them in taking the next step shows how personalized coaching can be. We talk about connecting with teachers and building coaching relationships in phase 2 of the Coach Certificate and Mentorship Program, Implement Consistently. And strategy number 6 is to be intentional. As a coach, it's really important that you keep track of who you're working with so you can intentionally reach out to potential coachees that you haven't worked with yet. You might consider organizing this by grade level or department so you can quickly see who you've worked with and who you haven't supported yet. You might consider tracking what's working to get teachers engaged in coaching and stop doing things that aren't working. Then you can start intentionally reaching out to teachers who may not have worked with you in the past so you can continue to maximize your impact. We talk about this intentional reach out to teachers and strategies to make this effective and efficient in your coaching practice in phase 2 of the Coach Certificate and Mentorship Program, Implement Consistently. Number 7 is to track your time. When you're thinking about being intentional in who you're reaching out to, you also probably want to track the kind of work you're doing with teachers. You might want to consider noting whether it's consulting, collaborating, or coaching, and how much time you're spending in each stance. At certain milestone points in the year, you might want to reflect on the actual hours to see the data and the percentage of time spent doing what, in which building, and with which teachers, and see how this changes over the course of the year. This will help you know exactly how to adapt your communication about your role, and it will help you really highlight and articulate the value that you bring as a coach to your school community. We talk about tracking your time in phase 3 of the Coach Certificate and Mentorship Program, Grow Community, and we talk about the different coaching stances so you understand the kind of impact you can have as a coach in phase 1 of the coach in Finding Clarity. Those were my 7 strategies to move from being reactive to being proactive in your coaching role. They were communicate your services, getting the pulse of what teachers need, sharing coaching success, connecting teachers to each other, share just-in-time resources, be intentional, and track your time. I'm curious, which of these are you already doing? Which are opportunities to be even more proactive in your coaching role? Let me know in the comments down below. It's easy to stay in reactive mode, just responding when people reach out. But if you are ready to maximize your impact as an instructional coach, if you want to make a bigger impact on teaching and learning at your school, and you want to start having enthusiastic coachees engaged in coaching cycles with you, start being proactive about seeking out clients. As you could see, the 7 strategies I shared today are all part of the Coach Certificate and Mentorship Program. We talk about finding clarity so you can clearly communicate your role to teachers and your school leaders. Being clear about your role is the #1 way to get more teachers enrolled in coaching cycles with you. Then we talk about implementing all of the things you learned with consistency so teachers know what to expect and you can start seeing the positive impacts of your work with individual coachees on a broader scale. And then in phase 3, we talk about growing a community. So you can start not only tracking the work that you do as a coach, but really measuring the impact that you're making so you can build a thriving coaching culture in your school setting. Are you ready to work with more teachers in your school? Join us for the next cohort of the Coach Certificate and Mentorship Program so you can start building the skills you need to work with more teachers than ever before. If you're watching when this episode airs, registration is open right now. Find all the details at edurolearning.com/coach. And if you missed registration for this year, make sure you get on our mailing list so you're in the loop for our next global cohort. Sign up at edurolearning.com/coach. And of course, if you're curious right now or you have questions you'd like to chat about, please reach out. I love talking to you. You can leave a comment below. You can join our Coach Better Facebook group or find us on social media at Eduro Learning and send me a DM. I would love to chat with you about the coach and how we can support you. See you next time.